Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, whenever you're watching this. Of course, that's one of the things I love to say because you could be watching it at 2 a.m. in the morning or you could be watching it at, you know, 6 o'clock in the afternoon. And to me, it's now going on about 6 o'clock a.m. my time. Um, so many things to do and so little time to do it all in. I had a request for doing a dragonfly. And you know how I am. I try to accommodate anybody and everybody. What I'm doing now, I'm warming some dichroic blue. It's actually dichroic gold with a blue turbo turbo cobalt. My tongue is tied. Um, Base. I'm going to stretch this out. This is going to be not the biggest dragonfly in the world. Definitely not the smallest either, but just something to big enough to demonstrate and small enough to do it in a quick amount of time. If that makes any dumb sense. Right? Right. Now, as I reheat this, I realize that there's a airline inside there. We'll see if it works. Okay. First thing, whatever color strip you use, I make it thin enough and don't do 4 wings, but do 2 sets of wings for both sides. But what I do is get enough to make 2 wings for each side by just stretching it out and putting a V to it, a V shape. That should be long enough. One wing. Now heat and stretch and bend the V shape to the other side for the other wing. There. You can fix the angles and do things later. That's the 2 wings. The color I'm using for the base of the dragonfly itself is just jade green with gold dichroic base, or jade green for the color base, and then gold dichroic for the film that's in the dichro. I will also put a connection to the actual dichro strips that I made a while back. That's where I started from as a reference point. But if your dragonfly, if you don't have any dichroic, don't worry. You don't need the dichroic to make a dragonfly. You don't even need color to make a dragonfly. You just need a shape to make a dragonfly. Color just sort of offsets it and makes it um, in another direction pretty, but you can still make a clear dragonfly that is really, really nice. And if you don't have money for color, you might want to consider learning how to fume too. Make sure you got good ventilation in the. I could put a another video or connection to the ones that I've done on fuming. And the fume, silver fuming can really excite the glass for what it is. Been sitting here chatting and whoa, me and my cold welds lately have just been not the best. Okay, I'm gonna put this on there really, really good for the time being. And now, you got a basic body, and to a dragonfly body, you've got basically three segments. You've got the tail, and then you've got the main part of the body, and then you've got the head to the dragonfly itself. And to me, that's all you need. You can do this several ways. Matter of fact, I'm just going to build up on this one to make one of the several ways. One way you could actually just pinch each segment that I'm about to do just by putting a little bit of glass on the top. And I'm going to dot about 4 or 5 little segments on top of this dichro. And it will give it texture and the back segment of the dragonfly. Okay, it's 2. Make sure you're sealing it in well, that it's not just touching a piece of glass to it, but you're making each piece part of the glass. 3, 4. I'll do one more, just because I can. With me so far? That's the dragonfly segments. And then again, matter of fact, I will, because I can. I'm going to take a pair of scissors and pinch just a little between each segment to round it in. There we go. One more. The back segment, for the very front segment, I guess you could say. I'm going to tweeze it just a little bit too, punch it. Learn to manipulate the glass that you got around you. Don't just accept it as what it is. If you want it a little bit more to the left, or a little bit more to the right, or a little bit more round, heat it up just right to make it the way you want it. But sometimes it's not worth fighting. Don't fight the glass. The glass will always win, but we'll work with the glass. You probably heard me say that more than once, okay? Now, next step. Middle section segment. Okay. The way I'm doing this, and bumps are diffusing the color, the dichro anyway, you could probably get away with just doing, again, solid glass. Doesn't have to be, and a little color to it maybe. Last but not least, the final segment, the head. Okay, we'll hold on to that for a little bit like that. Now we're going to bring the wings into this situation. Did a cold weld. Now you got to warm it back in because it was sitting there on the bench, of course. Now the reason I do one wing is A, for support, and B, KIS, keep it simple. KISS, but KIS mainly. Again, you can do individual wings and attach, or in my case, all I have to do is attach it once. Okay, next, the other side. Cold weld. Make sure you don't want to put the one set of diachroic wings up and the other set of diachroic wings down. Make sure they're both facing in the same direction. That wouldn't hurt. Okay. There we go. Now again, you heat and manipulate. Once you got it on there, you heat and manipulate it the way you want it to be. You don't have to settle for just what's in front of you. Right, right. You know, a little bit of nudge here, a little bit of nudge there. As you can see, it's starting to do what I want it to do. Now I've attached these wings pretty good as I sealed them on there, but never hurts to go back and make sure that the wings are well attached, because you don't want them breaking off at that point. One set looks like it's on there really well. The other set is getting there. Both sides, top, bottom, seal well. Shape it the way you want it. And then you come back and you make sure that that the wings are about the same size on both sets. You could have done that earlier when you were putting them on there, before you put them on. Save a little bit of time and effort. You can take these off and make them into little turtles or whatever later. I like to try to, being the type of person I am, I take things down to the nub. Fringe of a shoestring budget and all. Okay. There we go. Changing the angle slightly. Don't force the glass. And there you got a simple dragonfly looking thing there. You can heat the wings and press them down evenly like that, and then they're about on the same plane. Still, this is just a simple basic, like I always do. And you could make them a third that size or a tenth that size and make good earrings. Or you could make a big flower to go on it, to go with it or whatever. Now, I am definitely going to have to get a better cold weld method going on because I don't want it to break off at the wrong time. And here we go, heating up and taking off just a little bit beyond where I wanted the head. Not really, about the same place that I wanted the head. A little bit of a pinch with the tweezers. Define it a little bit better with the scissors on the edge. I'm not trying to cut through with the scissors. I'm just trying to sort of crimp the glass where I want it. Okay. Now I'll put a bail. Actually, I'm going to put some eyes. Let me think. What color eyes do I want to put on it? What do I have in a dark green? Oh, that'll work. Let's see if I can grab a hold of it. Yeah. Like a sable color. Actually. Never mind. This will work. One eye. The other eye. I might even add a little bit of clear over that, just to lens the lens of the eyes. See, a lot of people think that you got to add just a color to it, but sometimes a little bit of clear over it adds to the color by magnifying what you got. You still got a bigger eye, but you still have the color going on at the same time. And when your color is more expensive than your clear, sometimes you got to learn when to supplement and when sometimes you can't supplement. Right? Right. Okay. It's not the best looking dragonfly in the world, but it gives you a direction to go in. That's what I've always told you. Always room for improvement. Always. Now, flame it out. Ah! I'm sorry if you keep hearing the wind in my microphone, but I gotta keep some air circulation, fan blowing. It is, the middle of August, and it's warm. I see some, I wouldn't say problems, but things I want to change slightly. And while it's warm, it's the best time to manipulate the glass, right? Rounded that one off, and this one needs to be rounded a little bit. And this one's a little long. Let's try this. Also, you got to learn when to quit. In other words, you want to say, "Ooh, ooh, I want to work on that." No, "Ooh, ooh, I want to work on that." No, "Ooh, I want to work on that too." Little steps sometimes. Don't do it all at once. And for every time you go back into a piece to work on it, you have that chance of manipulating it into a blob of non-recognizable frustration. Okay? I'm not saying your stuff doesn't look bad or that your stuff looks bad. Okay. That needs to be just a little shorter. And there we are. Flame it out. And then I'm going to be done with this piece. Yeah, it looks a little rustic. But again, it gives you a direction to go in. That's the main thing. I could do another 2 or 3 videos on the different ways of doing the dragonfly. That's just one of them. Thank you for watching and enjoy your day.